Welcome back to Responsibly Unhinged podcast. It's been a fucking minute, and I'm not gonna apologize because I do it every time and always say I'm gonna come back, and then I never do. So you're just gonna get the episodes whenever I fucking feel like it.
That's how you gotta do it.
That's how you gotta do it. I'm not apologizing anymore because it'll probably be another month. But I am back with a guest. I always try to do that, at least when I've been a piece of shit. So I have my lovely friend and fellow comedian Grace Kirk here today. What's up, Grace?
Hey, I'm here. Broke out of the ER to come over here to your incredibly elusive apartment.
Yeah, my very high budget studio.
Yeah, a true DoorDasher's nightmare.
Honestly, what's really, so I just recently started door dashing because I had been unemployed.
Broke.
Yeah, I'm broke and unemployed. And I had to pick up an order the other day that was like 3 blocks away and then literally bring it directly back here to this apartment. And I was like, I was so grateful because me and Justine get lost in this building all the time.
Yeah.
But this apartment was literally like our apartment but on a different floor. So I could just follow the same directions, but I was like thinking about how much of a nightmare this would be. Honestly, dropping DoorDash off to any apartment complex sucks.
Horrible.
It's so bad. Whenever they don't have, just like leave it outside. I'm so pissed. So.
Like, you know, when they have the apartment number, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, every time they do
This
that.
is a fucking bitch. Or like people in dorms, then you have to meet these like ugly ass college students, and they're like, oh, I want my chicken.
Oh, I had to drop off Chick-fil-A to a high school the other day.
Oof.
Yeah, I had to pull up to this high school, and all these bitches are out there with like their McDonald's and all this stuff, and I'm like, I grew up in such a small town that we didn't even have anything that could deliver food, and we didn't even have any chain restaurants that weren't 25 minutes away. So it was like mind blowing to me to think about like high schoolers just like ordering DoorDash to school.
Yeah.
And
So
like pay money for that.
Yeah.
Your parents, obviously.
Anyone who like orders Chick-fil-A, bad person. I don't know.
Okay. I want to hate Chick-fil-A, but
No, I think nothing about the food. Food, great.
Okay.
Ordering Chick-fil-A though, it's just
On
like
DoorDash?
you're like a cunt. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Honestly, I get that. You have a lot of hot takes.
True. A lot of embarrassing things. Things
Yeah.
that embarrass me.
Things that embarrass me. We're gonna talk about that.
Oh,
But I need to know because so Grace just dropped this on me like right before we just start the podcast. So she was in the ER yesterday. What the fuck happened? Are you okay? Is it confidential?
Nothing in my life is confidential.
Same.
I don't know. Here's the thing, you know. Let me preface this by saying I used to live a crazy life, you know, sleeping with 40 different men a day.
A day.
Change that from 0 to 1. But, and, you know, drinking all the time, sleeping with randos, and there would never be anything wrong with me. Now I take a breath in the wrong direction and I have like a kidney infection.
It catches up with it.
It does, yeah. I'm living karma for all the vodka cranberry blowjobs I've given.
So did you have a kidney issue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. You ever had a chunky vodka cranberry?
Yeah.
That's when you throw up on someone's dick after drinking a vodka cranberry.
I threw up on a guy's dick in the back of my own rendezvous once.
What does that mean?
Like we were like hooking up in the back of my rendezvous. Like,
Oh, that's a car?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like an Explorer. Yeah, and I was really drunk, and that happened, and it was pretty mortifying. So.
Honestly, I've learned that they don't care.
Yeah, he was fine with it. He
Yeah.
was also drunk, but.
Yeah, I think when I did it.
19.
Yeah. When I did it, he was sober, which is kind of creepy, but hope you are having a nice life with your family.
Yeah. They all have families.
They all have fucking families now. They all have families.
I was pretty convinced I was good luck chucking people for a while.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, every man that the woman he's left me for is like his wife and mother of his children.
Yeah, and then until finally, you know, my last ex, I got the good one, and he's fucking dying over there, bitch. Enjoy it.
Thank God. Well,
so, you know.
Well, I'm happy that you're alive and well for the podcast. Well, it's subjective, but you're alive.
Yeah, my pee is orange, but we're here. You know, every time I piss, it looks like the sunset over 6th Street.
A beautiful sight over fucking trash.
100%. But you know what? We're back. We're drinking Diet Coke.
We love that. Honestly, you walked in with that, and I was like, I fucking love a mini soda, and I was really jealous.
I was thinking about bringing you one, but I felt like you were that type of bitch. I was like, I don't drink soda. I used to be a bodybuilder.
I am so unhealthy now. It's secret's out. It's bad. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
it's really bad. I have issues.
Yeah, soda's great, dude. I fucking love it.
Yeah, honestly, like if you started out in the place that I was in, like now I swung the pendulum so far. Like I try to pretend that I'm still kind of healthy, but I'm really just trashing my way through life now.
Yeah, you should just do heroin.
That might be next.
Honestly, I mean, we're in Austin.
I'll try anything once.
Yeah, I said that too.
Famous last words.
Yeah. I'll try anything 4
try
times
everyone.
in 1 month.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here after the ER. You know, I took my antibiotic in the car and I was like, we're gotta get it together for Kylie. So I gotta step my pussy out for Kylie Kaiser.
I feel so honored.
Of course.
Honestly. But I want to start out, I always ask, like, it's like the annoying, like, elevator pitch of being a comedian, but, like I said, Grace does do comedy here, that's how we met. How long have you been doing that? How'd you get into it? Give a little backstory. A lot of my listeners are not people in comedy, so they're not bored of those conversations, so.
Okay, so I don't even know the answer, but I've been doing comedy, like, almost 6 years, I think, and I started in Houston, and I got a fake ID. I started comedy when I was 20, technically. And so I got a fake ID. I would go out to gay bars all the time. I don't know, like nobody was really trying to rape me. I wasn't even hot, but I went to gay bars because I was like, I'm safe. But in reality, I was safe the whole time. Okay. But yeah, I would go to gay bars and there was a lot of drag there and I loved drag and I was like, I want to be a performer, but I was like, I'm not about to be in drag. Like, what else can I do? And at that time, I was posting like long Facebook things, like just like little funny things, like, oh, this is what it means when a guy wears khaki shorts and blah blah blah. And so then they were like, oh, we have this open mic night at the drag place. You can do comedy, karaoke, or drag. So I just like went up and like said a whole bunch of shit and like
unplanned, like you didn't have it prepared.
Yeah, I just like said random shit. That now is like the hackiest thing ever. Like I was like, oh, if you park your red truck in a fucking handicapped spot, like, yeah, we know your disability, you have a small tick.
Slay.
Yeah, slay.
Banger,
but, yeah, I should bring it back. But, it was giving very, like, I would go on stage and be like, yeah, people call me a cum dumpster, like, that's my real name, like, don't even call me Grace, like.
Because I have none.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I started, and you know, now we're here, I guess.
Now we're here.
Yeah.
So you did it in Houston for how long before you came here? How long have you been in Austin?
I did it in Houston for 4 years, and I've been here 2 years. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What brought you to Austin?
I don't know. Like, you know, the thing when everyone was like, oh, we're gonna move here, and it's gonna work for us. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I feel like everyone I talked to, we were joking the other day, I was like, is Austin just where everyone runs away from like terrible things happening? Like everyone I meet, it's like they just went through some crazy like breakup or divorce or like ex-fiance scenario or like some kind of drug problem, and people are just like, I just ended up in Austin. I'm like, that seems like the wrong place to try to get your life together, but here we are.
It's like a city of people that need rehab.
It really is.
This is where we went instead of getting help.
Yeah.
And now we're all horrible people.
Yeah.
No, I just felt like, you know, everyone was moving here, like new opportunities, and then Houston also like kind of, it has a small scene, so there's really only so much you can do there, and I feel like I did everything.
Yeah.
Except for, you know, do a lot at the Improv, but you know, I did some.
Did you do the Riot?
Yeah. But the Riot barely existed when I left.
Really?
It was still Rudyard's, and then they made it the Riot, and then I did a few shows, and then, you know, now I don't get booked there, but yeah. It is what it is.
It's their loss.
Yeah, Brian Gendron.
Yeah.
Remember me?
I love a name call.
Me and Brian go back, okay?
He would understand.
He would understand.
Perfect. That's cool. No, I saw Grace the first time you were on a show at Vulcan, and that was like in May or something, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I thought you were hilarious, and I was like, I'm gonna be friends with her, so.
And now we're not friends, but
it's really unfortunate. I had to pay her to do this podcast.
That's true.
So.
She paid me in Diet Coke and vapes.
Yeah, because I clearly can't pay her with my DoorDash money.
Yeah.
So.
And antibiotics.
I let her pet my cat, so that's like.
Yeah, where is she? Tell her to come back.
She loves to interrupt. She'll show up eventually.
Good.
But.
She's a little fatty. I love it.
She is. It's funny because she's actually like a pretty small cat. She's thin, but she has like so much like excess skin and fur. She looks like that person that like lost a lot of weight and like hasn't had the skin surgery. That's like what I feel like her vibe is.
That's what every cat owner with a fat cat says. They go, she's actually not fat. She just has a lot of skin. Her skin's very thick. You know how in animals you can have a lot of skin? Like that's like.
Okay, but here's the thing. I've went.
Like, girl, she's a short hair cat.
I've went ages with people talking about how small my cat is, and then I got her spayed or neutered or whatever the fuck it is when it's a girl, and then she like put weight on, which everyone told me that would happen. But I think I'm still stuck in like her first. I got her like fixed really late, so I didn't get her taken care of till she was like 5 or 6, and so like she was always weirdly small. Like, she was the runt of the litter. And so then whenever she got spayed, I keep her in her past identity. It's like me still delusionally pretending I have a 6-pack. Me and my cat have the same trauma. I'm just like, she was skinny once, so she's skinny forever, okay?
That's that's how it goes though.
Skinny's a mindset.
Like when I was 19, I lost like 75 pounds, and ever since then I've been like, I am skinny.
Yeah.
Like, yes I gained it back, but it's different.
I was skinny, so
yes, it's the same.
You're like, I can do it again if I wanted to.
Yeah,
so
100%.
That's like where I'm at as well. But
yeah, we're still there.
Yeah, she's cool. Anyways, I don't know how that transitioned into my cat, but yeah, no, that's cool. I love just talking to a lot of the girls here in comedy. I think we have to have a little bit more of a camaraderie from all these fucking idiots, so it's nice to see. But yeah, we were talking about what the fuck we're going to talk about today, and as you all know who do listen, all like 65 of you.
Ooh, 65.
That's like my low views, and I feel like I'm struggling.
Girl.
So I'm trying. That wasn't supposed to be a flex. It was supposed to be. It was supposed to actually be insulting to me.
I love it. I love it.
But they know that this is not a notes podcast. I'm always like, I should have an outline or something and figure out what I'm going to talk about, and I never do. So yeah, I always like try to get questions in case people have them, but
nobody wants to know anything about me.
Well, me either. No one ever answers them.
Maybe, but she posted the photo of me and was like, "Does anyone have any questions?" And everyone's like, "We don't need to know more than we already know."
Yeah, we're like, we don't have. That's how I feel like when I post questions. They're like, "What can we possibly ask you that you're not just willingly divulging on the internet already?"
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I post horrible things.
This girl recently was telling me how she was just like keeps telling me how much she's like, I just love your Instagram stories. I love just like that you're just always on there. And I'm like, I feel like this feels like a backhanded, like, please shut up. And I can't stop thinking about it, honestly.
I get the same.
Yeah, they're like, I just love how brave you are.
Yeah. They'll be like, oh my god, you post the craziest things. I was like, I thought I was being normal.
I thought this was entertaining.
Yeah, I thought it was normal to talk about when I went to rehab for whippets.
Yeah.
But I guess not.
I think we should talk about that.
Okay.
You went to rehab for whippets specifically?
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of get it. I've done whippets once, and it was at this I was at this women's retreat. It's actually the first time I did like any drugs. And
they had whippets at the women's retreat?
Yeah.
Where was this?
Here.
Okay. I did get addicted to whippets in Austin, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. I was probably running the retreat, I just didn't know.
We just don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we did it, and it was like this really like wholesome experience, honestly. Like they did it, and the girl that runs it really is someone who like, she's been on my podcast. I don't want to out that we were doing whippets, but that narrows it down. But she like did this like whole scenario where we like laid down and they like gave us the whippets, and then she like just like massaged our heads and like told us all these like affirmations of things. Like she knew so much about us because we were in this like development program before the retreat, so she knew like all of our insecurities, and she was just like giving us all the words of information that we like needed. Like it was just like, you are good enough and all this shit like while you're in whippet land. And I was like, I felt like it was God. Like it was crazy to me. So I can definitely understand like just the way whippets feel, that it'd be very easy to like fall down a path of that, especially because in my brain I was like, it's so fast, like I'm fine so quickly, so it can't be that harmful.
Yeah,
right?
well, let me get into that. But first off, I love that they're treating whippets like it was like an ayahuasca ceremony.
They really did.
Like,
it's okay.
you are like, they're like, here's your throw up bag if you need it from your nitrous capsule. You are worth it. I'm like, dude, one time I took a triple whippet and messaged some guy on Tinder, will you please come have sex with me and never talk to me again? And then he said no. So then I blocked him. I think it was fortunate though in the long run. I think I saved.
At least he was somebody who was following you back.
Tinder.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Tinder, singing DMs.
No.
But yeah, so what happened?
Okay, so here's the thing about whippets, and basically all drugs. You know, you are doing drugs and you're like, oh yeah, I can get addicted to this, but you never really think about like what's happening to your body.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like if you're addicted to oxy, you're like, oh, like I'm addicted to opiates, like I can't shit, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But whippets, so not only did I have to go to rehab, but my legs also became paralyzed.
What?
Yeah, because something about the nitrous like depleted my B12 levels so much that like plaque was starting to form on my spine, and it like cut off the nerves like from here down.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could reverse paralysis though. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, if you just like stop doing whippets, I think your body goes back to normal. Yeah, it started off as like a funny conversation. Now we're like,
now it's an educational.
Yeah, but it's like fine. Like,
you're fine.
Yeah, but no, I was doing a lot of whippets. Like, they come in these little boxes, and I would do like 10 of those boxes a day.
Wow.
Like, and I lived in this like commune here in Austin, and I would just do whippets all day and like sell drugs. And so I did that for like 5 months maybe, and then yeah, my legs became paralyzed and I had to go to rehab. embarrassing to go to rehab with like heroin addicts and alcoholics, and they're like,
I should not laugh.
no, it's like funny. You're like, they're like, oh, like I lost my family to my alcohol addiction, and you're like, I'm in a wheelchair because I'm addicted to whippets.
God, you had a wheelchair?
Yeah, for a little bit. That's fucking embarrassing, dude. To be in a wheelchair and like not really need to be in one. Like if I was just like a normal like drug addict, I wouldn't have to be in one. But like I chose to do whippets. Now like I'm in a fucking wheelchair.
That's wild.
Yeah, but rehab was fun though. So.
It was fun.
Yeah.
How long did you go?
I was there for 7 months, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it like in an outpatient? Or?
It was outpatient because I was in a wheelchair.
I can't stay.
Yeah, they were like, we can't like take care of you, so you're gonna have to stay at your mom's house and come here every day.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but rehab was cool. You know, fell in love with some random guy.
I hear that happens in rehab a lot.
It does, but usually they like you back. He didn't like me back.
Classic.
Yeah, but you know, he was like weird. Like he came to rehab and was like, I'm addicted to heroin, and then one day later he was like, so I meditated and like I'm actually not addicted to heroin anymore.
He just decided.
Yeah, and he was like, so I'm ready to have my kids back.
Oh my god. What a winner. I can understand you feel.
I also like met this crackhead Nazi in rehab who I became best friends with. But I was like, hold on. I was like 19. I didn't know like she didn't have like a swastika or anything on her. She had like the 2 little SS lightning bolts tattooed right here.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that meant. But yeah, she had like a gunshot in her forehead and like was like missing one of her eyes. And I don't feel bad about talking shit about her because
she's a Nazi.
1, she's a Nazi. And 2, that bitch started hating me and hating on me. She would go on my Instagram and be like, why are you half naked? It's like, bitch, how can you even see that right now? Anyways.
Slay.
Fuck you. Alright.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So that happened in Austin though, so was that like in the last 2 years?
No.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say, I was like, holy shit.
So basically, when I was 18, I lived in Austin.
Okay.
And then I moved out by the time I was 19.
And back to,
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I was gonna say, I was like, I feel like you've really come far.
I've really come far in the past 2 years.
Like, damn.
Dude, if I was like addicted to whippets in the last 2 years, like that would be insane.
That's what I was like, Jesus.
I would definitely be talking about that more.
Yeah. It's like, how did I just now learn this? The thing about whippets that's like scary too is like, I don't wanna like give this information so willingly, but like, it's not like a drug you have to like have this like sketch connection, so it's just like you can just go get it so easily. You just make it yourself like so easily.
Yeah, you just get the little things, you get the canister at the smoke shop, done.
Yeah, so it's like so easy for people to do it recreationally.
Yeah, but nobody fucking should. Every time I hear people doing whippets, I'm like, dude, just like do poppers or something.
I was gonna say I did a popper for the first time recently, and I was like, it kind of gave me a little bit of whippet nostalgia.
Yeah.
But is that like allegedly safer?
I guess. I mean, I'm not like getting rammed in my ass all the time, so I never like do poppers that much. Although maybe I should.
Yeah.
No UTIs. But yeah, poppers are cool. I like them. They give more of like a blackout effect if you like, do it with alcohol. Those are cool. I did them after I got addicted to whippets, and I was like, fine. So they're safe, guys.
Yeah.
Although, wait, on the topic of whippets, recently I've been getting like canned whipped cream and like pouring it in my mouth, and it has nitrous in it.
We did it with like a can like that.
Oh no, the way I did it, that's like a lame way. That's like the loser way.
Well, I wasn't an addict.
Yeah, well, me neither.
You went to rehab.
The real way to do whippets,
understand yourself,
is you go to a smoke shop and they give you these. You can't call them whippets. You have to say whipped cream canisters, and they give you. It's like the size of this. Yeah. And like you attach it to literally like a Starbucks whipped cream thing, but there's no cream in it, so you just suck out all the nitrous. Like,
we were just like telling people how to start their whippet problem.
If they don't know, then they shouldn't be like living in today's society. Like everybody knows,
you can Google it.
Except for her. But yeah, what was I talking about? Okay. So yeah, something about whippets.
What a journey.
My brain's like forever fried from them. Like I'll never be the same.
Yeah.
I'll never have the intelligence of a 20-year-old only 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something about that. But next topic, I'll think of it.
That is funny though. I remember like when you were talking about like the rehab thing, it was like my ex went to rehab, and I remember literally thinking that like I was like, oh, he's definitely gonna trauma bond with someone else there, and I was like jealous about his rehab potential.
Did he?
Probably.
Yeah.
He didn't tell me that.
I remember what I was gonna say. So I've been putting whipped cream in my mouth with just the thing you can buy from the grocery store.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And it was like running out, and then I felt the nitrous like come out, and I was like, oh my god, my body's gonna relapse. I'm gonna fucking die.
You like feel your legs going down. It's like
no, literally, I swear on my life, I felt a tingle in my legs when that happened because like I had to go to like a neurologist and everything. Like it was like a spinal cord thing, and they're like, if you ever do it again, like your body will automatically relapse,
Holy
and
shit.
you will never be able to walk again. So I was like scared.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I figured it was just one of those like trauma response phantom pains, but that's why.
It probably was. They're probably just lying to me.
That's like they're threatening. It's like they're stereotyping.
Yeah. My mom was like, just tell her she can never do it again.
Yeah, honestly, that's fair.
Yeah.
Shout out Grace's mom.
Shout out Laura.
Shout out Laura. She's so proud.
She's so proud of her whippet addicted daughter that randomly became a hairstylist.
And comedian.
She's definitely not proud of that one.
Mine either.
Does your mom like your comedy?
I don't let them watch it. Well, so my grandparents raised me, and they're not, they would not like it, and they don't really understand anything about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's like shocking to them that I would do something that's not making me money, and I'm like, I've been doing this for not that long, like, and yeah, so, but yeah, when they told me, I did a show in Orlando on my family vacation, and they were like wanting to come, like, and try to be supportive, and I was like, I mean this in the nicest way possible, but like, please don't come. Like, I was like, you will hate it, I will hate that you're there, like, and it's just not gonna be good. And they were like, well, we like comedy and blah blah blah. And I was like, you don't like comedy. And they were like, well, we love Jeff Dunham.
Yeah, they'll.
Yeah, I was like,
they'll always be like, well, I love Rodney Dangerfield. It's like,
and I was like, Jeff Dunham is not your daughter talking about getting dicked down by drug addicts.
100%.
So I think that's a little different.
Yeah, my family has come to see me do stand-up a lot, and when I was way worse than I am now, like first year into it, they came, and they hate it. They were like, I just don't get it, you know, maybe it's not my age group. I'm like, okay. But one time my dad did get on stage with me.
Really?
Yeah, I was like opening up for Cypher Sounds at the Riot. And he was doing a DJ set, like, for all of his openers, like, he would play music during, or something like that. And then I said something about my dad being there, and then he was like, bring your dad up on stage. And my dad's like a classical musician, so my dad gets up on stage, and my set was like, okay, but now they were like loving it.
Yeah.
They were like, wow! Like, way more than they ever did for me. And then they like made my dad sing, and like, wow, he ate. Like, they loved it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
My biological mom watches my clips and stuff, like, she's cool with it, but that's like, I don't know, we just have like a different dynamic. And I also don't have a ton of stuff, like, I have some family jokes that I do, but I don't, like, I try not to, like, post a lot of that, just until I, like, kind of am far enough along to be like, oh, I don't care, because it's, like, my job. But right now I'm kind of like, it's not really worth the fight for me. I have enough fucking dating trauma to just cover those bases for now. So
I block all my family on Instagram when they even come close to finding it. I'm like, hell no.
Yeah, none of them have Instagram, so that helps. And I don't post like clips and stuff on Facebook. It's why my Facebook is more tame, because that's where all my family is.
Facebook's like my crazy area.
It is, actually. Yeah. I love it. You're like my favorite person on Facebook.
I'll be like, just got my ass eaten by a guy who works at Subway. What's up, bitches? And it'll be like 200 likes.
And I'm like, what? I always see that. And I'm like, how is she just like fucking slaying this Facebook game?
Dude, Facebook is the truth. Okay, that's where you try out all your new material.
That's
see if the peeps on Facebook like it. I ride or die for my Facebook people.
I can see that. Your Facebook page gives me life, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
But then I get like hella haters on Facebook too. Like
sense.
The men who live in like Ohio, they're like, this is what's wrong with society. It's like,
as someone that's from Ohio, that makes so much sense.
Bitch, you're from Ohio?
That's where I grew up.
Oh my god.
I know.
Why is everyone from Ohio?
I try to not tell people that. I moved here from Nashville, so I always just say I'm from Nashville, because I lived there for 6 years.
Well, the truth just came out.
I know. Like the podcast.
Okay, the pod knows.
The pod knows.
What do you think of all the Ohio memes?
I mean, they're all true.
Yeah.
I hate Ohio. I like anyone that always is like, I've had people ask me like, oh, what made you initially leave Ohio? And I'm always like, have you been there? And if they say no, I'm like, if you go, you wouldn't be asking me that question. If they say yes, I tell them I don't understand why you're asking me that question. That's like that too response.
Oh my god. I've never been, but I want to go. Just to see what all the hype is about.
It's worth going to if you're a theme park girly.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, they have like the best theme parks in the nation.
They got Knott's Farm or whatever.
Cedar Park, or Cedar Point.
Yeah, I've heard of that
huge.
one.
That one I didn't go to as much because it was like at the top of Ohio and I was like at the bottom, so it was like really far. But I lived at Kings Island, which is also a sleigh. It's like outside Cincinnati.
Okay.
And that was like 2 hours from where I grew up, an hour from where I went to college, and I went to Kings Island like almost every year. It's the shit, honestly.
Bro, I'm straight up that bitch that watches like POV roller coaster rides on YouTube to see like where should I plan my trip to go on the craziest coaster.
Honestly, I love that.
Let's go to fucking Ohio, dude.
I would take you to Ohio and go to the theme parks. That would be honestly, I would imagine a day at Kings Island with you would be an absolute experience.
We should go.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'd love to go.
I'm down. We'd have to fly though. I can never drive again.
Why?
I've driven to Nashville twice since I've been here, back to Nashville, and it was just a nightmare, and Ohio is even further, so I just refuse.
How many hours is Nashville?
It's like 12 and a half without stops.
Oof.
Yeah, so it usually takes me like 14.
Oof.
I piss a lot, so.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I have to like pee already right now.
Did you go pee?
Yeah, just leave you here.
Yeah. I'll be like.
I always act like I try. I'm like so lazy with this podcast. I do my best to have to do like no editing. So I'm always like, if I cut things, I will, but because like I said, I used to have to stop the camera I usually use. You have to stop like every 30 minutes, so I would just use that as a pee break.
Yeah, it's the same with me and Dulce's.
Yeah, and that's what my roommate's like. There has to be just like a setting you can fix.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm using a different camera, so I'm like, sweet, I don't have to do that today. But also, that's usually when I take a pee break. So I'm like, well, oh well.
All the fucking Gen Alpha kids, or that's what they're called now, I think.
Is that like the youngest kids right now?
Yeah, they're all obsessed with Ohio because the memes. They all say Grimace Shake Ohio, and everyone's like, it's so cringe, but I love it.
That makes me angry.
No, I fucking love it. I love the little shitty nonsense they say, like, sticking out your tongue for the Rizzler. You're so skibbity. You're so Phantom Tax.
I don't know any of this.
I just wanna be. What is it? You're Ohio? Yeah, you're Sigma.
I have not heard this.
Dude, you gotta get on the internet more.
I'm on the internet a lot. My feed is just all Taylor Swift.
True. I have all the cringe.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's going on with Taylor? Should we touch that?
What's the 411? As if the whole world isn't being forced that information.
Yeah, right? Oh my god, the haters are going crazy.
I hate it. I got in a fight with my mom yesterday about Taylor Swift.
Did you go to the movie?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was amazing. I'm gonna go again, I think. Dylan Carlino wants to go and have a concert
Please
experience.
take me.
Yeah, I will take you. Oh yeah, we were all sitting there and we were talking about this.
Yeah.
But I saw him last night and we were like talking about how he was like, well, I went to try to go see if I can get it on my like AMC pass. And he was like, and that bitch will not let us use the pass for it. And I was like, she's a capitalist queen. He's like,
No, she really
he was
is.
like, she loves money. And he's like, and honestly, I respect it. Like, I'm like, this bitch does not need our $20 from Regal Cinemas.
She's the female Jeff Bezos.
It is, but just like people like her more.
Yeah.
But also, I still hate her.
Honestly, kind of love Jeff Bezos. Like,
I mean,
Amazon changed the game.
what would we all do without Amazon, if we're being honest? So.
Look, I know he's like a capitalist pig or whatever, but call me a pig fucker. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. People are always like,
I love it.
Taylor Swift releasing like 7 versions of every vinyl she has. I'm like, capitalist queen.
Yeah.
You're smart. You know
Did
your
she
audience.
need the money for Taylor's version?
No. It wasn't about money.
No.
But it's
about
also about
the
money.
principle.
It's about the principle, but also
Scooter.
probably the money.
Yeah, money.
But like, she was fine without it. So I'm also just like, I love a petty queen. So that's my thing about Taylor Swift. Is just like, I respect that she just will do anything to be like, I have the last word.
Yeah.
And I admire that.
Nobody better cross her.
Honestly.
When you went to the concert, were there people standing like right in front of the screen, like doing this?
No, that's kind of why I want to. That's why I told Dylan I want to go back with them because I went with my friend Chelsea and our theater was so lame. We went to like a matinee and there was only like probably 4 other sets of people in there, and it was like so quiet. Like we were like singing along like so quietly because we felt weird about it. And I was like, this is a concert film. It's weird to just sit here and stare at it for 3.5 hours. Like.
So when you see Taylor Swift, I know she's like singing a lot of fucking songs.
Yeah, she does like 44 songs.
Does she stop and talk to y'all?
Yeah.
For like a while, or is it just like a little bit, like a few times?
It's like little bits most of the time, and then there's like 2 spots where she talks for like a longer period of time. But otherwise, she mostly just fucking crank it out. My favorite thing I've been seeing lately on TikTok is girls who have drugged their boyfriends to the movie, and it's like they're doing like before clips, and the guy's like talking about how much he like doesn't want to go and like doesn't care about this, and then they like have like their phone, like you can tell it's like down in the console when they're talking on the drive home, and this guy was just like, honestly, I was just so impressed. Like, how does she just keep doing that? I would be so out of breath. She must work out so much. Like, she just keeps singing. I was just like, how is there more songs? It's honestly so impressive. And I'm like, yeah, this bitch sang for 3.5 hours in a fucking monsoon. Like, that's crazy. Beyonce would never.
No intermission?
No. There's
Does
no intermission.
do Cardigan?
Yes, but they took it out of the movie, and I'm pissed.
Why?
That's
my favorite.
They removed 4 songs from the movie, which I'm just like, I don't know why. Like, she acts as if like her fans aren't insane enough that we were gonna not stay for an extra 20 minutes because the movie got long.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she cut out 3 or 4 songs, and that was one of them, and I was pissed.
Do you get like backstage videos of her?
No, they do a thing at the end during the credits though. That's cute. It's like a bunch of like fan shots, but also a bunch of her like tour bloopers. Like, which I loved on TikTok, where it's like moments during the tour that like she's like fucked something up, like or like I like when I was at the Nashville show, her like sleeve on her dress was like on the like she like her arm wasn't through the sleeve, and she's like trying to like fix it, and like one of the times that her mic went out, she just was like screaming into the mic trying to fix it and stuff. So they put a bunch of like those funny clips, or like her cloaks like getting like stuck over her head, and her like tripping and shit. So they have a bunch of like those in the credits, but they didn't do any kind of like talking footage. I just think since the film is so long.
Yeah. Have you also fallen victim to not remembering the concert?
I actually realized that, yeah, a little bit. I got to go twice, so I remembered a little bit better, but I had some things like during the film that I was like, oh, this is nice to see because I don't really fully remember this.
People are so freaking stupid on the internet. They're like, she's a witch, that's why you can't remember it. I'm like, dude, I don't remember any of the shows I've been to.
No.
Because you're like, oh my god, this person's in front of me, and then there's also like 80,000 people around you, like, at least for me, pushing you and trying to kill you, and so yeah, your focus isn't on it, like you don't remember it.
Yeah, and it's like they actually released like a psych article about that when people were talking about it, about like people's like excitement and dopamine levels when they're so high like that. Like people who have like waited to go to that tour are usually people like me that are insane, obsessed with her. And so they were like, when your dopamine is that high, it actually like it changes like the way you can retain information. Like there was like some big like psych thing that was published about it because people were like talking about this like, you know, like memory phenomenon.
Yeah.
But there's also a ton of like just like conspiracy theorists of her being like a Satanist and all this shit, and honestly it cracks me up. Somebody asked me that the other day, like, what would you do if you found out she really was like running a Satanist cult? And I was like, run the local chapter. Like what I'm this far in. Like you think I'm just gonna like be like, oh, she loves Satan?
It's not a religion thing, okay? Like nothing's gonna put you out.
I saw this TikTok the other day that made me laugh. So it was like that old like Bible school song. It's like, our God is an awesome God. And I saw like it was like that clip, and it's like her coming out on stage, and I was like, okay, I get why people are concerned.
My favorite is that one clip that everyone's seen of her doing. What's the one? Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
That's the Reputation song,
Yeah.
right? They changed that to a Linkin Park song, and it works so well. It's so good. It's like our vibe.
Yeah.
Together.
I honestly tell people that if they want to see the movie, especially whether they saw the concert or not, the whole thing is worth it for the whole Reputation era set. It goes so hard. I love Bad Bitch Taylor.
Yeah. Although, whenever I heard that song, like what you made me do, I was like, this song sucks.
No, I can remember that moment very vividly because I was in a car. I was in a car with my ex-boyfriend who hated Taylor Swift and me. And his friend, and we were like visiting him, and I've never been someone that's like, she's dropping a song and I'm gonna wait to listen to it, like that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so it was dropping, and it was like, that was also like a big deal. She had like taken a huge break, and so it was like, you know, she had like wiped her whole social media, she did the whole like fucking thing, and so I was like, I have to hear this song. And I remember being in the car, and I was just like, the fuck was that?
Yeah.
But then the music video came out, and it went so fucking hard that it made me like the song, and I liked the live performance of that song, and I do like the like concept of the song and like how it represented like the era, like what she's doing.
Yeah.
So I like it as like a concept, but the actual song itself, no. Although I have heard some like bass remixes of that song that kind of smack. So I'll give it that.
Do you think it's true, like what she's doing in the music video with like the diamonds and the pearls, like that represents Kim Kardashian's hotel room getting broken into?
I think so.
Yeah. That's
petty. That whole video has like 100 references in it. That's what that video is insane. That's why I was like, it's like my favorite music video because it's just iconic. There are like so many little things, like even just like down to like stuff in the background or like shirts she's wearing. It's all stuff about people who have like wronged her or like rumors that have been out about her. And there's like there's something tiny in every single scene. and I think it's just fantastic. It's incredible,
Yeah.
and it makes me like the song more. But it's still one of those songs that if it just comes on when I'm driving, it's like I skip it.
Yeah.
It's how I feel about like it's like I don't enjoy listening to Shake It Off, but if it comes on at the bar, I'm gonna be shaking my ass. You know? Yeah, like those are like that's my thing too. Like people will love to like when they're talking about like how good she is at songwriting or like how much awards she's got. They bring up that shit.
Shake It Off, and they always use the video of her dancing to it too.
Yes, and I'm like, listen. This is not what the discography looks like. Like if you're an actual Taylor Swift fan, you're like a deep cut fan. That's like I feel like the thing, you know. Like I'm like this isn't what I'm talking about. It's the same thing even with like people make that joke about like Anti-Hero, and I was like the actual verses of Anti-Hero intense. She literally is like my narcissism disguised as altruism, like some kind of congressman. That is not like a fucking fainty lyric. Like what the fuck. But I'm like she also just knows how to write a pop hit.
Yeah.
Shake It Off's her biggest song.
Really? Ever?
Yeah.
I wouldn't think it would be that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I think it was because it was like her launch into being pop. I feel like that was like such a big deal.
Yeah. Working at Ulta, they put me in Taylor Swift hell all day. Which, like, love her. She is great. But they only play one Taylor Swift song. And it fucking drives me nuts. And it's my least favorite one. It's,
Is it because of the...
It's Bejeweled.
Oh.
And I will always be, like, having a mental breakdown. And they'll be like... Nice. And I'm like, oh my god, I can't listen to it anymore.
That song's funny too because it is one that was like when that Midnights came out, which had been still on that album's dick for like a year. But that song was my least favorite song. But then it grew on me for sure. And I also realized with that too, like that's another one. The verses of that song pretty deep.
Best believe I'm still a Bejeweled or whatever.
Somebody on TikTok told me to put that in the POV of like you're coming out of like a narcissist relationship, and it like changed the song for me. Also now...
Was Joe a narcissist?
No.
Okay.
But now, well, not that I know of. Honestly,
well,
some of the deep cuts she's been sharing, I do feel like he's been gaslighting her a little bit.
Oh, I mean, he is a man at the end of the day.
At the end of the day. That's what, and I love everyone's using like the Travis Kelce thing to be like, this is like, he's letting her be jeweled, like.
Okay.
Which is true though. I feel like he's the first man she's dated that acknowledges he's dating Taylor Swift.
True.
Like I do respect that. I feel like everyone else is trying to like hide her in a closet.
All I have to say to that is nice.
Nice. Honestly, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, my hottest take on that is that it just gives me faith that I too will stop dating translucent skinny men.
I never wish that for myself.
I never thought I would, but they keep wronging me. You found a nice one, so I'm gonna like have hope for that. But for me, they just be big dick monsters.
Most of the skinny translucent men are big dick
I know.
monsters.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, healthy men just don't do it for me.
No, it's
hard.
It's hard. I'm having like that crisis of people like trying to be healthy dating and guys that are like, I like you, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? I think that's the question for me. It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
That's weird.
But you should be asking yourself about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's like you know, we were talking about that, something like that she said her therapist was asking her was like, a lot of times we get like so fixated on like if they like us, and they're like, so like regularly her therapist will like check in with her and be like, what are like 3 to 5 things you like about them? And if you like can't have a list and it's all about just like them liking you, it's like, that's not good.
Just them liking you back and the attention they give you.
Yeah. Or for me, I tend to like men who don't like me back. So I feel like I was addicted to like the chase aspect for a long time.
Yeah.
We had to talk about that. I remember I dated this really, the funniest thing my therapist ever said to me, I dated this really nice guy who I've already like divulged on the podcast the horrid things I did to that man, and I'm still sorry. But he was like the first guy I dated after my like super toxic 5-year relationship, and I was just like, I was so ickmatized by this guy, like so badly. And it turns out I was just like...
Ickmatized? Like he had the ick?
I gave him the ick. Or he gave me the ick so bad. And I like did realize that over time it was just like, he wasn't for me. But at first I was so convinced that it was like trauma. And she did tell me that like, she was like, listen, any man that was going to come into this position first after this was basically screwed. Like that was just never going to work out. And she was like, because here's the thing. She's like, but here's what happened is you basically went from like, she compared it as like, speaking, this is all full circle, being like a heroin addict, and you go to rehab or you get out of it, right? But then your like scale for what's going to like give you a high is difficult, right? Like, people that do heroin aren't gonna like get their rocks off from like a tequila soda, right? Like, because they're used to like hard drugs. And so she was talking about that, it's like coming down in that like gradual way to where like your baseline for like enjoyment or happiness or like things that like excite you is skewed because of the time you spent doing heroin, metaphorically. And so she was like, you would probably need to like start out with like, which like she was like, this obviously is not healthy rehab advice, but she was like, for the sake of the metaphor, like the next guy you date, for you to even be interested, probably it needs to at best be like a solid hard alcohol, like, you know what I mean? And she was like, you basically went from like doing heroin to like Busch Light. And she was like, that's not gonna work. Like, she's like, there's usually, you know what I mean? Like, and I thought that was so funny from a therapist, but it honestly really resonated with me.
Damn, your therapist went hard.
She did.
I had a therapist once, but she was a Disney adult, so I fired her.
You know, I fuck with some Disney adults, but I mean, I have family that feels that way, so I have to.
I draw the line there. You are a pedophile, okay? Get the fuck away from me.
I have a Lilo and Stitch tattoo though.
Oh my god, where?
On my ankle.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say like on your fucking like. What's this?
No,
Like hip?
no, it's cute. It's like on my ankle.
You didn't even get it filled in, girl.
No, it was intentional.
Not her getting the stitch line work.
That was
Not
okay.
the stitch line
That was
work.
intentional. I thought it was cool. I don't have any color tattoos, and that was me
color,
like,
yeah,
that was me like venturing into color. But I kind of liked the idea of it being like, this little...
I was imagining like a full blue stitch tattoo. That's less
weird.
bad.
Yeah.
I mean, who am I to judge? I have a corn tattoo.
Yeah.
But.
Also, at least it was like, I feel like out of all the Disney things, that's like the edgier guy I could have went with.
That's the cooler one. Like, this isn't Disney, but it is Disney though. Like, oh wait, you do have one.
What? My Harry Potter tattoo between my tits.
I was literally gonna say Harry Potter. I love it. Show it to the camera.
I was showing people this last night and they were like, are you just flashing us right now?
Look, there's a certain type of Harry Potter adult that I can't do. And you know the type that I'm talking about.
Yeah. I am a pretty hard Harry Potter adult though, so I have to be careful. But the fact that you like me without knowing that means I also...
I know, I remembered that you had one when I said it. And I feel bad, but you know
you
what?
You don't have to feel bad.
The
I get roasted for everything that I like, so...
Me too.
I don't care.
Me too.
You grow a thick skin to it.
Yeah, the 40-year-olds being like, I'm a Hufflepuff, that's where I draw the line. I can't. But also, which one are you?
I'm a Hufflepuff.
Oh my god!
I'm 32 though.
Yeah, exactly. You have 8 years to go.
8 years to get out of it. Okay.
Dude, what do you think I would be? Would I be Slytherin?
Yeah.
That's the only one I'd want to be. I'm like, I'm goth.
I like honestly always vibe with Slytherin people though.
Stop! There are no Slytherin people, Kylie.
Yes, there are. Everyone who's taken the test as a Slytherin tends to be my friend.
We are in America.
You know what? We are in a state of delusion and I can choose to live in whichever one I want.
Okay. I mean, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with the Spiderwick Chronicles. Like, that was my Harry Potter, I guess.
But it left you in adulthood, so that's where we're different.
Yeah, I don't know, I like the Saw movies. That's like my Harry Potter.
That's your comfort.
It really is, though.
That explains a
Although,
lot.
people think that if I like Saw, I like body horror. I can't look. It's the twist.
Okay. I do like, so I watched the first Saw movie and I'm very into like a good horror movie like plot line, right?
Yes.
And I can't do the scary shit because it tends, people misunderstand when I don't like scary movies and I don't get that scared watching them. I don't mind. I usually really enjoy the plots. If I could control the fact that I have horrid night terrors, then I would watch them. Like that's the problem. It like fucks with me after. Yeah, and it like affects how I like go through my life after the movie. That's like what fucks me up. Like I love like psychological thrillers. I love like I can watch like slasher movies. Honestly, like I'm really bad with like mostly if it's not like that's why I said I agreed to watch Saw and I was fine. I had like a little bit of nightmares. It wasn't that bad. I just can't watch anything that's like paranormal. Like I can't do that. Anything that's like, which is crazy because it's like the movies that are like definitely something that could happen, like this fucking like serial rapist, and I'm just like, yeah, that's fine, even though that could literally happen to me. And they talk about like ghosts or honestly anything with like haunted weird children. And
What about
shit,
like
can't do it.
possession?
Nope, can't do it.
Like exorcism?
Yeah, can't watch those.
Yeah,
I can't watch that kind of shit. Anything that's like in that realm, it will like torment me for days. Like actually used to not be like this either when I was a kid, which is crazy. As a kid, I loved horror movies. I watched like all the original Michael Myers and stuff like as a kid and like loved them. And then in the 6th grade, I watched The Ring and it fucked me up for life.
Really?
I'm still triggered by that movie. If people, I like usually can't talk about it for too long because I'll start thinking about it too much. But like literally to this day, if like TV static comes on, I like have a panic attack almost.
Wow.
Yeah, it like really fucked me up. I don't know why, but like I couldn't do anything. Like anywhere I went, that like something would remind me of that movie, and I would just like start crying as a kid, and I like carried it into adulthood. Yeah. It was so scary. Like honestly, I blame it because I used to watch so much scary movies, and then I feel like that just made me so afraid because of the effect that it like kept with me.
I grew up Catholic, so watching some exorcism movies scare me because I'm like, that could be real. Like there's this one, oh my god, you would hate it, and they're like, it's a true story. Like even at the end, they have no cast because they're like, this was a documentary, and basically this priest like gets possessed and then like tries to like drown a baby. And it's like, it fucked me up so bad, I almost went back to church. I was like, I gotta go back to church. Like, God is real. My town was heavily Catholic, so I feel that maybe that's why I'm scared of it. Yeah. I mean, anything else, I'm like, murder is not scary. So that movie scared me. I liked Saw. I have this like huge fear of amputated limbs. Interesting. Like, ever since having my legs paralyzed. Yeah, that's fair. Because like I was in the fucking hospital room like detoxing, like freaking out, and my legs weren't working. So in my mind I was like, I'm gonna have to get my legs amputated. And I'm sorry, but like it scares me, dude, and I think it's really gross. No, it's scary. And so if like in Saw 1 when he cuts his foot off, I can't watch that part. And there's so many scenes in all of the Saws where it's a lot of gory. Yeah, but for me, I love Saw because of the twists. Yeah. It's nothing that I can ever predict. Like, they always go above and beyond from what I can even expect. Like, Saw 1, psychological masterpiece. Yeah. So that was like the one, and I think it was also like in the era of like when it was being filmed, it's like the graphic wasn't good enough for it to be that scary yet. You know what I mean? The gore has evolved now to where like gory movies are like awful, right? Oh my god. And so like that's kind of the trajectory. My Saw trajectory was like probably in like maybe sometime between like 8th grade and 9th grade, I think I watched that movie. And my best friend like loves scary movies, so we watched it at her house. I was definitely scared shitless, but I like enjoyed this, like I said, the psychological part of the movie. And then I didn't watch the other ones because it was like not enough for me to be like, I'm into this now. It's just like, cool, I've seen it. But then the guy I was dating in high school, he was into the Saw movies, and we went to the movies to see Saw 4. And this is another reason I gave up on scary movies. We went to that one, and I like got up, I started like feeling weird, and I thought I just like had to shit. And it was like during that scene when she's like getting her hair ripped out, and that's all I remember from that whole movie. Saw 4 is the one where I remember nothing but that because I was traumatized. Whose hair was ripped out? I don't know. They like hook her up with this thing and rip her hair out of her scalp. And I got up because I was like feeling weird, and I like went to the bathroom and thought I was just gonna like shit myself, and I passed out in the bathroom. I fainted. And I was stuck in there. Some lady found, my boyfriend ended up coming into the women's bathroom because I was gone so long. He was like, he said he was sitting in there and he just thought I was taking a long shit, and it was like 30 minutes. And he like got up to go look for me and went into the women's bathroom. And like I was like laying on the floor in like a cold sweat, and he had to like go get one of the people, and they had to bring me like gummies from the concession for my blood sugar, and it was embarrassing and traumatizing. But I think that like just turned my stomach so much when that happened, so I was scared to watch any more of them ever again. Yeah, Saw, God, they have so many ones on there, and it gets so convoluted after the 4th one because like the main guy's like dead, and then they have like all of his apprentices. I've seen them all a few times, but the one Saw trap that really grossed me out was when they have this like, and ever since they made this one, they keep referencing it and like repeating the same thing, where they have this like little beaker on a scale, and they're like, you need to shed all this blood between the both of you, and whoever loses the most blood gets out, and this lady cuts off her arm, and it's like, bro, and she lives and she comes back, and it's horrible. But when I hear the dun 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 dun, I get horny, bro. Like that music does it for me. Like I know the twist is about to come, and it's gonna be so good. And you know what? It's fake, so you know, at the end of the day. And I'm like, this doesn't happen to people in real life. No one gets their arms cut off. That's true. That's fair. Yeah, they're like, this isn't happening. That no one has ever experienced this before, so it's fun. That's like my thing during scary movies. I think that's the hard thing now is we live in a world where progressively more fucked up things keep happening in real life. So I'm like, at some point, this is gonna be what's really happening. Yeah. People are. Oh my god. I know. But, do you watch any scary movies during like October for Halloween? No, I'm like that bitch that watches like Halloween Town during Halloween. Bro, she said I'm watching Hocus Pocus. Yeah, no, like literally this weekend Justine was like, we should watch Hocus Pocus when we watched it. I love it. I'm like, I I like posted on Facebook, please comment snuff films. I need to watch them now.
Yeah. It's crazy because I love Halloween too. It's like always been one of my favorite holidays. I love dressing up. I love like the whole vibe. I love like the spooky stuff. But I'm like, I can't watch all the horror movies like everyone does in October. And I'm honestly, I don't like it. I'm upset about it. I want to be part of it, but it just torments me. Like that's what I mean. It's like, but I'll watch. Like I said, I love like a good psychological thriller. Like I watch like I like that Split movie that came out. I watched that.
I think that guy was really hot. James McAvoy.
I could see that.
He's not hot in the movie.
Yeah.
And, like he's kind of gay in the movie. But fucking what's his name? Hedwig or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he kind of fine though.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. For me, yes. For me.
No, and I watched I think it was like a Netflix one, but it was like that Hush movie where he like comes after the like blind girl.
Yeah,
like I like that was like
so you like thrillers.
Yeah, I really like thrillers, and they still like I get very like jump scary during them, but they don't seem to like fuck with me after. Like I still would prefer to like I'll usually just like watch New Girl after it for like an hour and then I go to bed. But
not New Girl.
New Girl's the
I
best
love
show.
it. You probably love Schmidt.
I've been compared to Schmidt a lot.
Stop. Schmidt is my least favorite character.
That's not true.
It is true. He's so annoying.
Nick Miller is my favorite character.
Yeah, and he's hot.
But I unfortunately
Would you marry him?
Yes.
Same.
No, Nick Miller is my ideal man.
Oh, I'm marrying Nick Miller, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to exist.
Yeah, Jake Johnson.
Yes, for sure. And I don't know who the fuck plays Schmidt, but he's ugly, and I hate him.
I get compared to him a lot, just like the dramatic things that I say.
You're too perfect. Don't ever compare yourself to that garbage fucking character. Like, he's like, oh, but my Italian sweater blouse. Ooh. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't have like really his vibe, but I think it's just because like my friends like categorize that because of like I just tend to be like the very like outlandish, dramatic friend. Like I'll just say the shit that's very like whatever, like the things he would say. Like I remember like my roommates in college had like a jar for me, like the same way, and it would be she had like a list of the stuff I would say, and it was just like example of like she borrowed one of like remember when like we wore I'm a little older than you, so like girls wore like blazers as like a fashion statement, like we were going to a fucking interview.
Yeah, for the club.
Yeah,
pencil skirt blazer.
And they were like this high.
Yeah,
that was like I was very big in that era. I worked at a Body Central. Have you ever heard of those? It was basically like a trashier Charlotte Russe.
It's like Ohio's #1 store.
It was honestly. they went out of business, but they were like fire. I bought all my clothes there because I worked there.
Oh, it was like a fucking
like Rue 21.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
But think like more ghetto.
Okay, so like Rainbow.
Kind of.
Yeah. Love
and so I worked there, and I had like fucking all the outfits from that shit. But that was like you nailed it. The fucking pencil skirt, the like cropped blazers,
chunky necklace,
sequiny shirt, chucky necklace. Yeah, the suede boots.
Was your hair in a bun though? Sock bun?
No, because I always had not enough hair. I have really thin hair, so I look like I fucking have a turd on my head if I do that. Me in a ponytail looks like a founding father. It's not hot for me at all, which is shocking. You have a lot of hair.
This is all extensions.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But she borrowed one of my blazers once and put it back on her own, and I came in like hot one day in college, and I was just like, if you borrow my shit, just like give it to me to put back. And she was like, why? And I was like, I organized my closet by sleeve length, and it like infuriated me that it was like in the wrong place. And she was like, jar. Like that's something Schmidt would say.
Dude, I can fully imagine you in a fucking mint.
Oh, I had a mint one.
Yeah, mint with like pearls right here as the buttons. Chevron pencil skirt.
I had the mint blazer. I probably did have a mint. I did have a mint.
I would have been afraid of you.
Yeah.
But chevron fucking skirt, I see that for you. I would have been like, keep me away from this girl.
I've changed a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
Over the last few years, I went through enough shit that I just kind of like stopped caring about a lot of things. I feel like the only thing that stayed with me was my like undying love for annoying things like Taylor Swift and Harry Potter.
Yeah,
but the rest of it stayed. Honestly, on deep note, I had a therapist in college that assessed that I actually have they like grilled me constantly with like tests because they swore that I was lying about having like a drug or alcohol problem. Like they were convinced I had one because I score really high on having an addictive personality. And they were basically like, they would ask me, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I drink socially and stuff. And I've literally, to this day, probably like less than 5 times ever even drank like wine alone. Like it's like, I'm a social drinker. Like I can like cut it off because when I decided to bodybuild, I just didn't drink for 3 years. Like, you know, I can go from like where I smoke almost every single day, like smoke weed and then just like stop smoking. Like I've just always been like that. I've like dated somebody that had a cocaine problem and dabble a little bit with him. And, you know, just like, but I would just be like, I'm fine. and they like did not believe me because of like how all my other characteristics and I guess like testing traits were. And then he basically assessed that I somehow, like my childhood escapism from things was like fictional culture. Like basically like getting really into like fictional like things like TV shows or movies or books, like that was like, which I mean that is escapism, like you know fiction is, and I like latch onto those things as like my like staple ground. So instead of like doing heroin, I just like listen to Taylor Swift for 7 hours. Like that's like my coping mechanism. Yeah, and it's like that sounds like super fucking weird and lame, but I was like, you know what? That's what I had my therapist told me. He's like, well, next time someone makes fun of you, just be like, could be heroin.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, I totally feel that. I'm the same way about certain bands, like Born. Like, that's like my shit. Like, you make it your personality sometimes.
You do. And it's like one of those things, it's like when you grow up with something, especially, it's like that became a thing that like, I think for me, feeling like a lot of stuff in my life was like fucked up and weird. And then there was this person that like, me and Taylor Swift do not have parallel lives in terms of how our traumas were, but there were little things like she used to talk about being bullied, and I was like severely bullied in middle school.
You developed that like parasocial.
Yes, I definitely did, where it was just like, it was somebody that I felt like understood me, and that was like something to like latch onto when I was sad. It was like, oh, like I'm gonna be okay because like this bitch is okay, and things like that. And I feel like Harry Potter was just such like a fake world that I was just like, it was easy to kind of like put myself there instead of like what I was actually going through as a kid.
Yeah, I was super into Harry Potter when I was young. I used to cry because Hogwarts wasn't real. I was like, when are they gonna send my letter?
My mom wrote me a fake letter when I was like 14.
That is nice, but also
it was because I was so happy. And then they had to break the news to me because they thought it was just going to be this cute little, like, whatever. And, like, every day for, like, 3 months, I asked when I was leaving. And they were like, they kind of, like, let it be this fun thing until finally they were like, but then it was, like, when I started, it was, like, during the time I was getting really bullied at school. And I was, like, so excited to leave because I would just, like, start using that as my coping mechanism. I would be like, fuck these kids, you know, I didn't say that.
I'm going to Hogwarts.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to be going to Hogwarts.
Oh, my God. I literally cannot even believe that. That is insane.
I was probably
like, it doesn't matter that they're bullying me. I'm gonna be.
I guess I probably would have been like 12 because this was all happening. Like, I moved schools in the 8th grade and then I had friends and I was happy from then on. Like, high school was like a good experience for me. As like lame as that sounds to say, but middle school was so bad, and I moved after 7th grade. So I could say I was probably more like 12 or so when that was happening. But yeah, it was just like using. Then my parents finally were like, probably like, oh my god, she's gonna kill herself if she doesn't actually get to
Hogwarts. You're gonna have to make Hogwarts.
Yeah, so what if they just sent me to some weird boarding school?
I wanted that too. I was like, I want to go to, I literally was obsessed with being British because I watched Skins, and I was like, I want to go to a boarding school in England, and I want to do drugs and be at Hogwarts. So good.
I get that. Yeah.
Also, I have one thing to say to you about your Taylor Swift parasocial relationship. Corey's eyes are like the jungle, he smiles, it's like the
Should I play your voice on that?
Yeah.
Grace is a singer, you guys. This is gonna be a treat.
Window and words, no,
I'm gonna keep this for life. My favorite is that you just fucked it up in the middle of it.
And then started over. Dude, that was my favorite because I was in love with this redneck named Corey, and he like loved country.
You have 3, I forget if you did it in the first one or not.
I think I did.
That album is nice.
No, it's the next one. This is a podcast exclusive.
Yeah, podcast exclusive.
Corey's eyes are like the jungle. His smile is like the radio.
The
He
snap.
whispers songs into my window and words that nobody knows. There's pretty girls.
Fuck! You kept going.
Yeah. On every corner they're watching as he's walking home, right? Saying, does he know?
How about Hey Steven though?
Hey Steven, I know looks can be deceiving, but I know I saw a lot in you.
One of the best parts of that song was just her. I love when Taylor will just like subtle flex, like when she was just like, all these other girls, well they're beautiful, but
yeah.
would they write a song for you?
Yeah. She's real, dude.
She's real.
I was listening to Tim McGraw the other day, and like when she talks about the letters that he never read from 3 summers ago, I'm like, bro, that shit hits home. Like, damn, I feel for her.
I also love her writing that at 15. Like, who was she writing letters to at 12?
Dude, I heard that song and started writing letters to guys that I never sent, and then I found them a couple of years ago, and it was insane.
So we all went through our parasocial era.
Of course.
Yeah,
I was like 14 and I wrote this letter.
Everybody that's only listening to audio, I literally just coughed and my cat did like the full on Halloween.
No, I touched her and she
combo. You touched her as I was coughing, and she just lost her shit just now.
I wrote a letter when I was 14 to this guy who I was like in love with, who actually ended up taking my virginity. But I was like, I know that we're like meant to be together. Maybe like you don't see it now. I'm like, I'll try to be better for you. But I feel like in 6 years, so when I'm 20, I wrote, we'll probably be married to different people. Married at 20?
That's my hometown. Tom's, you're in the. This is.
Oh my god.
That's the clip I'm using.
Yeah. It was insane. It was mental illness. And like, to that guy, I was so crazy. Like, this was when like Ask FM was a thing.
Yeah.
After he like took my virginity and I was literally obsessed with him, I sent him an anonymous message on Ask FM and I was like, I love you. And then he answered it publicly and just wrote, stop, in all caps.
He knows you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't about it. Like, after he took my virginity, he was like, you know we're never gonna date, right? And I was like, okay.
I still, like, when I get into my, like, level of crazy, like, if a man makes me insane enough, I just feel like I revert back to my, like, teenage self. Like, I still am a letter writer, and I'll send them.
I can't send them.
I sent a letter after, well, all the shit hadn't blown up yet, but I was, like, I went back to Nashville to, like, see this guy for a little while, and just kind of, like, we had the conversations where I just realized he was, like, not well, and he basically like was saying that to me too, and I kind of like was like accepting that like this is definitely not gonna work, right? But I got back and I didn't really have like ill will with the man. I was just like, you know, sad and emotional, but it was like this first experience that I really felt like I had like feelings again after my toxic relationship, and I was kind of like, okay, it was nice to at least like have somebody like try and blah blah blah. So I like put all this in a letter and I mailed it to him, and then literally like 3 days after I mailed it, in the middle of all this where he's like telling me all this stuff is like that he's unwell and all this shit, he like hard launches another girl.
I remember.
Yeah, and so it's like that whole scenario, right? And right after I send this letter, and I'm just like pissed that now he's gonna get this nice fucking letter where I'm basically just like, I wish you the best and I'm grateful for the experience, blah blah. And then like doesn't address it for like I just like don't speak to him at all once that happens. He like ghosted me, launches this girl like 3 days after we were still texting, all that, right? And then like 6 weeks later when he comes back around, he tries to be like, I just got your letter, and I'm like, this did not take 6 weeks to get to you, you fucking liar.
Actually, I did write a guy a letter once and I sent it.
Yeah.
It was this guy who I met over the... Wow, I'm a bad person. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me preface this. I met this guy over the internet in 9th grade, and he was a friend of a guy I actually knew.
Was he in jail?
No.
He was a lover in high school.
Like, it was like my first kiss that I ever had. That guy moved to like Rhode Island, and then one time I was like video chatting him, like we were just friends, and like his friend was there, so I started talking to his friend, and we like fell in love. And then for some reason I woke up one day and was like, I'm gonna fake my death. So I don't know why, I just felt like faking my death. Early toxic narcissistic signs possibly, but I was literally in homeroom and he was calling me, so I had my friend answer the phone and be like, Grace died in a car accident. Okay, it really looks bad when you look back on it because of all that happened, but so then he's like freaking out, and then a couple days later I'm like, I'm actually alive. And then he was like, oh, I tried to kill myself. I don't really think he did, though. He claimed that he went to a mental hospital and now he can't be around knives anymore. But I'm like, bro, you had never met me, okay? I should really circle back with him and be like, did you fucking lie about that? Because he really claimed like he went to the mental hospital and like his sister couldn't see him because he was in the institution and now he can't be around knives. All around 9th grade me, like, bro, I was fat and ugly, but whatever. Anyways, we met up like 3 years later in person finally, and like made out or something. I don't know. He was like randomly in Houston.
He still met up with you and made out with you after you faked your death.
Yeah.
Slay.
Power of the pussy.
Power of the pussy.
But I thought he was really cringe and ugly, so I ghosted him, kind of. And then I think when I was
dying.
Yeah, no, I was like just like done. God, so then like a year later I was like, maybe I should have made things work with him. Like he really like liked me. I think I am like a sociopath. But so then I saw he had a girlfriend. So then I found his address somehow and sent him a letter and was like, I love you, like I want to make things work, like I'm sorry for everything I did. And then his fucking girlfriend messaged me on Facebook and was like, I don't really appreciate the letter you sent Alex. And I was like, okay.
Wow, that's insane.
Also, we might be cousins. No, we're not. We're not. But my grandma, her last name has his same last name, and we have family from Rhode Island. But I don't think it's him. We don't look alike. Dulce and I have covered this before. I've never heard his name mentioned. Maybe it would be like 15th cousin, and at that point y'all can fuck. You know what I mean? But we just made out. So
my high school boyfriend and I, we found out we were like 6th cousins or something.
Ohio behavior.
Yeah, honestly,
straight
that's
up.
like probably further than a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
That's crazy. This just goes to show you though, like, I feel like every woman has thought about like how we wish we could know how a man would react if we died. Like I fantasized about that. Like what if like you just find that out?
Dude, I think about it all the time. All the time.
Me and my ex, my toxic ex, I told this story on my podcast already, so I'll just like short recap. But like when we first met, it was like a shit show from the beginning, but we like broke up, and then we did not communicate for like a month, and then I got in a car accident, like for real. And I had like nobody really in Nashville at the time, and one of my friends, I had like given her his number when we broke up because I wanted to like delete it from my phone, but I wanted to have it just in case, you know, so I would give it to her and she could be the judgment of whether I actually should have it or not. And so I was there alone going to the hospital and stuff, and I did have like a friend in Nashville who was going to stay with me, but I was like in the ambulance like talking to my friend, and she like reached out to him and was just like, hey, I think you would want to know, like Kylie's fine, but she was in like a car accident today, she's like going to the hospital and stuff, I don't know what's going on.
Dream situation.
It was, yeah.
Oh.
And so that
happened. I mean, I'm excited for you.
Yeah, we literally hadn't talked in like 6 weeks, and he then he tried to call me, and I was in the hospital, and I just like did the thing where I was like, I'm just not going to answer for a while, so he thinks that I like flatlined, and I just like let it wait for a while, and I called him back the next day, and he was just like, I've been so worried about you, blah blah. And I was just like a bitch, such a bitch. I was like, I'm so glad I had to almost die to hear from you, like I see. And then we got back together, and like
we are toxic.
Yeah, because then like a few days later I was like sent him this message that was like, I'm feeling really bad about how I behaved on the phone, and I feel like the accident just made me really realize life is short, and I need to express that I love you. And then we had this like huge phone call, and then we got together and were together for 5 years.
Wow. And this was the drug addict?
No, this was my like very narcissistic ex.
Oh.
Yeah, this was my spark of my CPTSD diagnosis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, he was a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Dick will have you doing crazy things. Like, I really made a close friend story with just him on it and was like, my cat died.
That's incredible.
My cat is still alive to this day.
It's insane how manipulatively you can use close friends.
Oh, 100%, dude. It's out of control.
Yeah.
They really made a mistake by doing that. But yeah.
The way you can just casually like remove everyone from it and do that for like 24 hours even, and then move it back, no one would even know.
Yeah.
Like, and they could just think they're always in your close friends and you don't post anything. Like,
or like,
no idea.
If he doesn't like give a fuck about you anymore, you post on your close friends like, oh, just went on this date. Like, dude, I have been in toxic ass relationships or situationships, whatever. I really Googled photo of a glass with a man's hand behind it. Just to see if this coke addict gave a fuck about me.
Me and my roommate talked about that like tactic where you like get yourself flowers and post them.
I couldn't do that because I was broke, but I was looking on Instagram. I looked up hashtag date night to find like
somebody else's
with like a man's hand right there, just to post on my close friend story for this man who could not give 2 fucks about me. I really searched for 2 hours on date night.
It's all those memes like some guy who could not care less whether I live or die.
Nope.
Yeah.
Didn't care. Cared if my cat died though, because you know what? It worked. So.
They always be caring about the pussy.
They always be caring about, never mind, but a pussy they care about, for sure.
True. That's wild. Yeah, no. Dick do be making people crazy.
I know, coke dick just hits different.
Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't hit at all, and we're still like that.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's crazy.
For sure.
Well, my guy had like a coke and molly problem, so.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
double bad. So he was depressed and couldn't get hard? Wow.
Yeah, he was also on SSRIs.
Yeah, oh my god.
And you know what? He told me the last time I saw him, he listened to this podcast, and I started being way nicer when I talked because I meant it, but I've tried to be nice to you now like 7 times, so if you still listen to this, fuck off.
Dude, you need a stimulus check for going through that, okay?
Bro.
For real.
It's honestly embarrassing for me because we spent so little time together and I was so sprung.
Same. I feel that.
It's embarrassing.
You be getting sprung over like 3 days total. 3 days all together. You pile up the hours.
And they're all a bender. Like I'm like,
Yes.
all the memes that are like, it's like, well, we just connected and we talked for all night long. And they're like, honey, he was just on coke.
Yeah, like I was 15 Red Bull vodkas and an 8 Ball Deep. Okay?
Yeah. Like we talked till the sun came up. Yeah, he was on cocaine. Like,
oof, dude, dating a drug addict, like you ever be up until fucking noon fighting? Like that shit hits different.
It's like, it's a weird like section of romance that people don't talk about.
Oof.
Like I feel like it's its own category.
I don't miss the times that I like looked at the clock and it was like 11 a.m. and I hadn't slept and I'm like, you okay, sweetie?
I still have to, I like waited so long because I was like, I mean, up until probably like, honestly still fairly recently, I was like not over this man. It all just ended last year, but I just saw him in April. And it was like, I was like saying like I wasn't going to tell his full story on here until I knew. I was like, I always try to have emotional separation before I talk about things. It's like my attempt to be mature. And I have not told it yet, like the whole way that all of that unfolded in detail, but it's literally, that's the exact epitome. Like the last time we hung out before he got sober was like so chaotic, and it was like that. It's like I woke up when we hadn't slept, we ended up having to like get this fucking hotel just to go sleep. Like we were so strung out. We show up to this hotel to check in with like a grocery bag full of Trulies, and that's it.
Ooh.
Like it was the most ratchet day of my life. It's honestly one of the funniest stories I have. That's the bad hard part. When you be dating a drug addict, the stories be fire though.
Dude, the stories hit when you're telling them, but when you're in it, you're like, dude, like I'm dehydrated. My pussy is drier than the Sahara Desert. Like I haven't eaten a real meal in 5 days. I don't even remember what protein is. The only protein I'm having is in his cum.
I was long distance with a man with a drug problem.
Oof.
Like, so it's like, imagine, it's like the intensity, because people going through that stuff too are like so emotional, and like especially like I always have said, like I still feel this way even though he pissed me off. Like I think he is like a good guy and just like has a lot of shit, and that's like what did this, like, you know. But like it's like we would like to FaceTime for like 3 to 4 hours, like once or twice a week, and like text every day, and then it would just be like Friday to Monday, like radio silence because he's on a bender and can't look at his phone because he's got Molly brain. Like I've been coming down from Molly, I can't look at my phone, and that was like every day for him. And it was just like we just went through this cycle of being like immensely attached and like having this huge connection. And then they're like on a bender, and then you're like so excited to see them. When I finally saw them, that I was just like, I'll be on the bender too. It's fine. This is bonding experience.
Yeah, that's what you do to hang out with them.
It's romantic to be in a tiny bathroom with you, you know? Like,
God,
it's sweet.
Yeah, I was long distance with a guy with a drug problem, and I think you probably had this happen too, where you'll be like having a normal night and you'll be off in another state doing whatever the fuck, and you wake up and you have texts from them at 5 in the morning. They're extremely explicit sexual texts where they're on drugs. I got one that was like, I want to snort coke off your pussy, and I responded like, isn't that like a Wild West abortion? Like what the fuck?
A Wild West abortion. Mine were more like sad. They were like sexual. They were usually like, that's why I said I do think like he had a lot of conflict about what was happening, but it would be like just the saddest, like remorseful apologies. But then it would be like the switch of like, it was like I would get like 6 of those, and then like another 6 things that were just like, I'm fine, I'm living my best life.
Yeah, I think after the Wild West abortion, he was like, ignore all that. Anyways, can't wait to see you in a month.
Literally, like, look at the timestamps. And then
videos?
And then this would follow it. It would be this, and then.
What are those videos of?
Oh, they were unhinged. Like I don't even remember.
Oh, that's a hot take of you.
Thanks. That was the weekend I was there, so he made a mistake.
Nice.
I was really hot that weekend. I missed my extensions.
Dude.
Get them again. Yeah. Well, I have no idea how long we've been talking, but probably forever. So I want to still circle back to because you know what, dating drug addicts, especially long distance, is embarrassing.
Yeah.
And
you're like, yeah, I have a boyfriend. Like, what does he do? You're like, coke.
He's in sales.
Yeah. He doesn't really have a job right now, but he's just making the best out of it.
He's doing his best.
Yeah.
Honestly, what sucks too, still, like, hottest guy I've ever been with. Objectively speaking, even that's not even from my delulu brain. Like, my friends were all like, that sucks.
Damn.
Yeah.
The one that got away on coke.
As you raise your Diet Coke.
Yeah, my Diet Coke is almost empty.
But I love using the word embarrassing with Grace, because I've recently uncovered that Grace has a lot of hot takes on things that she finds to be cringe and embarrassing. So I feel like I just want to like rapid fire things that you think are embarrassing.
Okay. Well, obviously, number 1, dragging a chair at Creek outside to go sit with a group of people.
So Creek in the Cave is the comedy club hangout here for non-comedy people that listen to this, which is most of you. And there's like just a hang on the patio where there's a bunch of lawn chairs style things, and we all just sit around in circles. But sometimes you go to sit in a circle and there's not an extra chair.
So it's
there's
like,
stacks
what,
of chairs.
you always have to like awkwardly stand there for a second and then make the conscious decision to go pull up a chair.
And Grace would rather die than have to drag a chair
It's
across the whole lawn.
humiliating. It's being like, yeah, I want to be included too, you know? Ugh.
So
Right.
that scenario sparked a conversation that night of things that Grace finds embarrassing, and she said she had way more to share.
Of course. Ubering to any event and getting out of the Uber in front of the event, I would literally rather die. I always tell them to go one storefront down. Like, dude, if you Uber to a comedy show and like you get out of the Uber and all the comics are standing there, you're literally admitting, yeah, I paid to be here. Can't. That is humiliating. Or like at a bar when everyone's standing around you, just get out of the Uber alone. You're like, yeah, I like this place so much I paid to be here. Like, no!
You paid to not drunk drive.
I guess, but you know what? I just want to appear. I just want to already be there. Going through the back. I don't want anyone to know that I ever existed up until this moment.
That's like the difference. I have like big main character energy. I want people to like, I want to have like the moment from the movies when they walk in, like the music plays and everyone stops to look at me. That's what I want to happen. But I want to like, in my mind, I look a lot better than I do when that's happening, so.
See, I have the main character energy, but like the mysterious one.
Yeah.
It's just always there, you know? Don't ever see me walking in. Oh my god.
You're like the 10 Things I Hate About You, girl.
I've never seen that movie.
What?
I've only seen like a little bit, but like
Heath Ledger?
he dies.
Yeah.
So. Anyways, but they like, she's like, the 10 thing I hate about you is that I love you so much, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the rest of that movie, she's like the like angry, I don't give a fuck main character.
Okay, well I'm Claire Danes, even though she's kind of ugly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Not
That makes sense for me. That makes sense because she's kind of ugly.
Part, bitch.
Yeah. I have a dog face. Alright. Does she? Yeah, kind of, right.
Also, Claire Danes was hot before they gave her the makeover.
They gave her a makeover in that movie?
Yeah, she's Breakfast Club, right? Is that Claire Danes?
No.
Wait, which
That's
Claire
like
Danes?
some random bitch.
Which one are you? Who's Claire Danes?
Claire Danes is the one from 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's also in like Dexter and shit.
Yeah.
She plays like
She's also not ugly.
or something. I don't know. I don't think she's like hot.
I think she's cute.
Let me look this up. Hopefully I don't have porn on my phone.
Just corn.
Yeah.
That was a bad joke. But it's true.
Claire Danes. Is this her? No, it's Julia Stiles. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
I get the two mixed up. Like, she's not like hot.
She's not ugly. That's not a good picture.
Yeah.
She wasn't ugly in that movie, though.
She was a little.
She was a young, cute girl. But anyways.
Yeah, anyways, they remade that movie with Addison Rae. It's like, what the fuck is happening to the world? Anyways,
What else is embarrassing?
when you go to a bar and you just walk in the door and then the bouncer chases you down and goes, wait, I need to check your ID.
That is embarrassing.
Horrifying.
I'll agree with that one.
Going through the drive-thru alone at a fast food restaurant, embarrassing. You literally are admitting that you're a fat piece of shit.
Or you're just busy. You know?
I guess, but then when they give you like, or like when you order out and they give you like multiple utensils, they think it's for multiple people.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, you order for yourself and they do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Showing up anywhere alone is embarrassing. I hate that.
I do hate that, yeah.
Give me one while I think of another one.
That I think is embarrassing. Well, this just because it happens to me a lot, but I just like tripping in front of anyone.
Oh, for sure.
Trip a
That's
lot.
just embarrassing.
That's universal
That's
embarrassing.
not
It's not a
niche
hot take.
embarrassing.
It's not. I don't think I have like that many niche embarrassing takes.
Honestly, in 2023, posting a selfie on your main Instagram profile is embarrassing, but I do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These
Same.
days, everything has to be on like a professional camera, or like it has to be like a candid. Posting like a Snapchat filter selfie, it just doesn't hit the same way it used to.
No, but I'm gonna be doing it.
Same. 30 likes max, always.
I stay in my millennial lane.
Yeah.
Like I'm one of those embarrassing millennials that really tries to adopt to Gen Z trends because I'm like on the cusp. But I also like I'm gonna be posting boomerangs forever, and nobody's gonna stop me.
Boomerangs
No
forever.
one's gonna stop me. I'm tired of them making fun of it. I'm sorry, it's more fun.
Yeah, do you do the drinks clicking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've recently not done that as often, and we've switched to just the still photo. But I prefer the boomerangs. It's fun.
But do you do it the way where you start with it?
Yeah.
Oh my god! So you start with it
works
clicked
better.
and then you go
better.
back.
People don't know.
No, we know.
It works better.
Okay, another thing that's embarrassing. Oh, I have so many. I don't even know where to begin. I don't know. A lot of them just revolve around fast food and bars because that seems to be my life.
That's fair.
Yeah, but being alone in a fast food drive-thru and then you like pull up to the window and you're like, hey, and you're like, hey, and then they read off your order. You're like, okay, you got 5 double cheeseburgers, a large fry, and 1 Diet Coke. And you're like, bro, one time I went to fucking Cane's, and by the way, I used to work there. I ordered the Caniac, the 6.
Yeah.
Whatever, I was hungry.
Yeah.
I got the Caniac, and then I was like, and can I get a Diet Coke? And they're like, yeah. And then I pull up to the window, and they're like, okay, you had a Caniac with a Diet Coke? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, Diet Coke makes it healthy, right?
Oh, no. That's straight from, like, you've seen Cinderella Story, right?
Yeah.
That's, like, a line from that movie.
That straight up happened to me.
He fucked you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, like, my nightmare.
That happened to me twice.
I think that all the time because I actually, like, I enjoy drinking Coke Zero. That's like my favorite soda.
I don't drink it for the health.
Me either. I just
good
see
to me.
I'm not a big Diet Coke girl. I'll drink it. Like I said, I liked that when you brought it. But I would rather drink a regular Coke or a Coke Zero. But people would always do that. I'll order like the fattiest ass meal.
Yeah.
And like all this pizza and then I like want a Coke Zero. And people are like, oh, and I'm like. Also, technically, like from working in health shit long enough, like I'm still saving those extra calories still do matter. So fuck those people.
Yeah.
Like that's still like. Especially like a fucking giant soda, that's like 200 calories extra.
Yeah.
But I would rather eat an extra piece of pizza.
Yeah.
So, fuck them.
Yeah, whenever they did that to me at Cane's, I straight up, my fat ass Yelp reviewed them so fast. I was like, they fucking said this to me and I got like a whole bunch of likes and I was like, yeah, my fat ass sister's fucking showing up in the comments.
Good.
And then I was at a Jack in the Box once and I ordered a munchie meal with a Diet Coke and he was like, oh, you got a munchie meal with a Diet Coke? Diet Coke, so what? You can have a slice of cake later, right?
What the fuck? And also, like, the audacity of
I
something.
was like, first off, bitch, you work at
that's
fucking Jack in the
I
Box.
was like, the audacity of someone who literally works at a drive-thru.
Yeah, you fucking fat ass, poverty line, driving ass hoe working at Jack in the Box telling me.
How many teeth did any of these people have?
One collectively.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. That's bizarre.
It was the fucking Jack in the Box in Montrose in Houston. It doesn't exist anymore, but it used to be so ghetto. Like one time, they like did something wrong with my order, so I tried to walk in, and there was just a homeless man guarding the door, and he wouldn't let me in. A shirtless homeless man. He's like, sorry, you can't come in right now. And I was like, okay.
What the fuck?
Thanks.
I feel like I want to use that whole clip for clickbait to get all the body positive people on my podcast side.
Okay.
And then they're gonna listen to it and hate it.
Yeah.
They're like, this girl has an eating disorder.
Yeah.
You're just like, that was pretty good. I feel like I could transition into like I always wrap up. So with the podcast, it's Responsibly Unhinged. So the end, I always like to ask people to share, which you've already shared lots of unhinged content, but I always wrap up on sharing one of your like most unhinged stories of choice. Usually it's in the range, like in the realm of like dating, sex, men. It can be like, it can be embarrassing. Like I told a story that I once spent like $400 on hockey tickets to just try to run into this guy at a hockey game. Like it can be like desperado style stuff, but it can also be like, I've had people tell like crazy like sex stories or just like whatever. So just something unhinged has happened to you in that general realm. That's what we'll leave everybody on.
Dude. I have so many stories that are running through my head right now. I don't even know where to begin. But I guess this is unhinged, kind of. Like, I visited LA once to see my ex. This is actually when Dulce and I started being friends. She lived in LA, so I was staying with her. And he ghosted me. He didn't want to see me after I showed up. So I knew his address. So I didn't want to like do anything like crazy. This was in 2020. So I ordered Trump stickers online, like pro-Trump stickers, like Trump 2024, and like all the like don't tread on me, and like Joe Biden's a criminal, and like Hillary's a criminal. So I ordered those on Amazon. I went to his house in the middle of the night and put all the bumper stickers on his car. And then...
And he's not a Trump fan, I said.
I found out, no, in LA.
Yeah,
like,
okay, fair, yeah.
Yeah. And then I found out, it wasn't his car. It was a very like poor, predominantly Hispanic community that he lived in. And so I probably put all these Trump stickers on like a Latino family's car.
That's an incredible plot twist.
Yeah.
I mean, that sucks.
Like, I was like, oh, did you get mad when I put the Trump stickers on? He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, right. And I was like, no, seriously, did you get mad? And he was like, you never put any bumper stickers on my car. Like, I got a new car. So I really put all these Trump stickers on a minivan. And I Googled it, and it is a crime to do that to someone's car.
Really?
And then I remember that night, I was like freaking out because I found out it was a crime. And then there was an earthquake in LA that same night, and I was like freaking the fuck out.
Okay, this is your karma?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, lo siento to that family, but it had to be done.
That is unhinged and an incredible plot twist. I really liked that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, all my hard work. I really donated to the Trump campaign for nothing.
Yeah.
They came in like 2 days too.
That's actually like the most embarrassing part.
Yeah, it's like I really gave him money. But he lost on the re-election, but we'll see this year. So, with my bumper sticker money. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Bad.
Wow.
Bad.
That could have been that's honestly an excellent prank if it would have went well.
Because like, you know, like,
bumper stickers are embarrassing.
having a Trump bumper sticker though, like, pro or against him, it's cringe. And
Yeah,
a lot of people will hate on it. What if you're just driving around with Trump 2024 stickers, like, that looks bad.
That's like the thing, it's like I can have like rational conversations with people that disagree with me, but if you're somebody that's like, you're like flying the flag and have bumper stickers and shit, I'm like, no.
I put a lot on it, like an American flag, I put a Blue Lives Matter sticker,
Holy
Trump
shit.
2020, like, it was bad. I have the photos somewhere, and I remember I drew...
Dude, this probably is like a hate crime.
Yeah, I think it was a hate crime. But,
like,
yeah, it's been 3 or 4 years, so it's fine. I drew on a mustache to do it, like it really was gonna hide my identity.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So that means I agree publicly incriminating yourself by sharing this?
Probably. Let me find the photo really quick.
You took a picture?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Of at least one of the stickers with me in front of it.
Oh my god.
Hold on.
That's
This will only
incredible.
take me a second. View, media.
No, it's worth it.
Okay. Hold on. Oh, wait, it's coming. This is like February. This is January. I did this in the summer, I remember.
How long ago was this?
This was in 2020.
Okay.
So like when politics were at the all-time high. Okay.
Wow.
Come on. It's gotta be here somewhere. Oh wait, no! I need it! Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. Awkward. Oh, here's one of them. With the car.
With the mustache.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
The Blue Lives Matter and the Trump Second Amendment keep in bare arms. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
That's a good
That's
one.
your incriminating photo.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
On the family minivan too.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course. Anything.
That's
anything.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I respect that. Honestly, and it's honestly, you're an inspiration.
True.
One, because you can live unhinged like that, and now you're in like a 2-year healthy relationship. So you could be crazy and somebody will still love you.
Yeah.
That's what I take away from that.
Okay.
You
Of
inspire
course.
me.
For sure.
You have a very wild and some parallel overlap with my background, and so I'm like, some man one day will be like, this is fine. And that's
Yes. Mario knows about that story.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
we all do crazy things in the name of love.
You know, it's like Miley Cyrus said, I was young.
Yeah.
I say I used to be crazy.
Yeah.
I say I used to be young. You know?
100%.
It was 3 years ago,
Yeah.
but I was young then.
Yeah, I was 23.
That's fair. Yeah, you're 26.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fine. I was still crazy until like this year.
I still am crazy, just in different ways.
Yeah, somebody was trying to tell me recently, actually, like, the guy I'm seeing now was like, he's like, you always say you're crazy, but I don't feel like you're that crazy. And I was like, it's early.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna show you that.
You're putting on your good face now.
Yeah.
The rest is yet to come.
Yeah.
You gotta save some stuff for later in the
Gotta
relationship.
keep things interesting, you
Yeah.
know? But, well, Grace, thank you so much for doing this, for hanging out. It's always a blast, and we'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you for having me.
Yes. See you guys next time. Leave a rating, review, whatever you feel like doing.
You better
but
be positive.
Yeah, be positive. If you have something bad to say, don't say it at all. That's what
DM it
you
to
should be
me.
taught. Yeah, DM it to Grace personally. Don't leave it on my fucking Apple page. Okay?
and then it'll go on my Instagram story.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you'll still get your exposure. We'll make sure.
Of course.
We'll make sure, because that's what you're really wanting. If
Yeah.
you're leaving hateful comments.
Of
You want
course,
attention.
it'll be exposed to a larger audience.
It's true. Honestly, yeah. Grace has a way bigger following than me, so.
Not on my podcast, but you know what? We love it. We're here.
Your Instagram though. We
poppin'.
Yeah. So also, let them know where they can find you to follow anything about you, and I'll link it in the show notes as well.
Cold as Lucas on Instagram, and I have a podcast called Yeah Podcast.
Yeah Podcast. Oh, I do want to ask that for you. Why is it Cold as Lucas?
Oh my god.
Is this too long?
No, sorry, I kicked you. It relates to me being crazy.
Well.
When I was in 9th grade, Odd Future was a big thing, like Tyler, the Creator's rap group. And they had a guy, kind of an Odd Future, he was like their merch guy, and I thought he was so hot. And his name was Lucas. I'll show you a picture of him. Very skinny, white boy, heroin addict, like the OG at this point.
Yeah.
That's him.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
Like,
yep.
Y'all know Lucas, maybe. And this was like when Instagram kind of started being a thing. He had a Twitter and his name was Cold as Lucas. And so when I was making my Instagram, I was so obsessed with him.
And it wasn't taken?
Nope, it wasn't taken.
So you just duped his identity?
I duped his identity, and it's been my identity ever since, more than his, because where's he?
I love that you just stuck with that. Too.
Yeah, I'm never ever changing it. And people will message me and ask for the username, and I'll never give it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I actually have a photo with him on my Instagram. It's one of my first photos, actually.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we are mentally ill over here. We are obsessed with men. And I'll show you the photo off camera because it's taking a really long time to load.
Perfect. I love it. Well, you guys, you heard it here. You can follow Cold as Lucas, Grace Kirk on Instagram.
The real Lucas.
I'll put that in the show notes, and we'll see you guys next time.